Hey, good morning, good afternoon, whatever time you're watching this. I hope your day is going well here. Um, just a little short review here, and then I'm going to have you guys try some problems more yourself on Math Excel um, from this Chapter 3, Section 1. And so I want you guys to grab your workbooks and go to page 166. We're going to go over these three problems, 4, 5, and 6, which I asked you guys to do at the end of the last video there. Um, all right, so just a quick reminder that you guys can use your calculators on this particular chapter and section, but you should still always show your work. I would like to see what you're putting into the calculator in case you hit a button wrong or something. I could give you partial credit. All right, here we go. So in this section, the main idea here is to find what we call unit rates, okay, and then use them. And a unit rate is simply a rate per one, okay? So like 45.5 to 7, okay? We want to make it into a rate per one, or a unit rate. We would divide by 7, all right? Um, and okay, so here's the essential question for this whole section here. How are ratios, rates, and unit rates used to solve problems? All right, so if you have a rate, you can make it into a unit rate by simply dividing, all right? And then when you have a unit rate, what you could do is you could scale that for a certain situation, okay? Unit rates can be scaled, to figure out for different amounts how much you would need, or compared, okay, to see which one is particularly greater. All right, so when you have two rates that have different denominators, you can't really compare them until you make it into a unit rate. So, for example, let's look at question 4, where you have to do this. All right. So you have two internet service plans. Plan 1 costs $34.99 per month. Plan 2 costs $134.97 per every 3 months. Okay, so if Crystal plans to stay with one service plan for 1 year, which should she choose? All right, and how much money will she save? So what we need to do first here is compare the two plans and find their unit rates, okay? Which are their rates per month, okay? I know it says later on how much will it cost for 1 year and how much will she save per year, but we need to know really to compare them, we need to figure out their rates per month first off, okay? So so the first plan, they tell you it's just $34.99, okay, for 1 month. Okay, so that's the unit rate. You don't even have to do any work. Okay, that's nice. All right, plan 2, on the other hand, you got to do a little bit of work for because they give you the price for 3 months. So to find the unit rate, you would take this number that they give you for 3 months, 134.97, and you just simply divide it by 3, okay? And then if you're not feeling super motivated, you could do it in your calculator. Now, you should be able to divide that one by 3, but, just in case, you should just check it in your calculator, all right, just to make sure you are dividing right in this particular lesson. So it's $44.99 per month. All right. So which plan would you go with, plan 1 or plan 2? Oh yeah, it's also good when you're doing these unit rates to write the units on the rate, okay? So it's dollars per month, okay? It's not per year, just to emphasize what you're talking about, and it's dollars per month. And sorry, it's a little hard to write with this mouse. I'm actually just writing with my mouse, and sorry, that's a little sloppy. All right, so hopefully that's correct. I did it on the calculator, so it should be correct. Anyhow, so which plan should you choose? Well, obviously the cheaper one, which would be plan 1. Okay. Now, how much will she save if she has it for 1 year? Okay. So let's figure out how much she would save per month. Okay. So 1 month savings. How would we do that? Well, we would subtract the costs for 1 month. Okay. So she saves a total of $10 per month for plan 1. All right. Now, 1 year savings is just going to be the month savings multiplied by 12. Okay, so, or $120 is how much you would save per year. All right, so hopefully that makes sense for you guys. You got to figure out the unit rates here in order to compare them. All right, and once you have them compared, then you can figure out how much you'll save by extending it for a year. All right, let's look at this next question. All right, Pam read 126 pages of her summer reading book in 3 hours. Zach read 180 in 4 hours. If they continue to read at the same speeds, will they be able to get to 215 pages after 5 total hours of reading? All right, so once again, this time we're not comparing. Here we're going to be scaling, okay? So once you find the unit rates, you can then scale them up for 5 total hours. Okay, so let's put Pam here. Okay, so Pam is 126 pages for 3 hours. All right, and then Zach, and once again, it's good to write your units on these things. Okay, I might forget to because I'm writing with the mouse here, but yeah, you should write your units on these things. All right. All right, so Pam, you got 126 in 3 hours. Zach is 180 in 4 hours. All right, so the unit rate for Pam, okay, you would take 126 divided by 3. All right, now it might not come out nice and evenly, but yeah, it does, okay. Remember, there's a shortcut to see if it's divisible by 3. You add the digits up. 6 plus 2 plus 1 is 9. If the result is divisible by 3, you know the number is divisible by 3. Okay, so this is 42 pages per hour. Okay, pages per hour. And sometimes when you write the unit rates, you could write it with a slash. When it's because it's per 1, so you could write it like that, like miles per hour. I just used P per hour for pages per hour. All right, now Zach is going to be 45. Okay, 180 divided by 4 is 45 pages per hour. All right, now, will they both finish after 5 hours? Well, so we know how much they do per hour. So to figure out after 5 hours, we can scale this by multiplying it by 5. All right, so Pam, if you times hers by 5, you get 210. So Pam will not finish. Zach, on the other hand, take this by 5, you get 225. Okay, because he's reading at a faster rate, and he will finish. Okay, so you might want to conclude this question, you should write a little explanation. Zach will finish. Pam will not. Okay, so you can see Zach will get done with 10 pages to spare. All right. Okay, question 6. Nora and Eli are making homemade spring rolls for a party. Nora can make 8 spring rolls in 10 minutes. Eli can make 10 spring rolls in 12 minutes. If they each make 40 spring rolls, who will finish first? Okay. Well, see, once again, you could figure out the unit rate. Okay. Now, if you figure out the unit rate here, it's going to be a fraction or a decimal. Okay, because it's 8 divided by 10 for Nora. Okay. So you don't always have to figure out the unit rate. If it's easier to scale it without making it a unit rate, you might be better off doing that. Okay, so if you think back to the other day, we had this little table. We made a little table of the rates. Okay, and so we had you know, I think we were filling up water. We were filling up water yesterday with the problem we were doing. All right, so Nora has 8 rolls in 10 minutes. What we want to do is scale this to be 40 rolls and figure out how many minutes that would be in. Okay? So, if we think about how we could go from 8 to 40, you can think of it as fractions, 8/10, and we're going to 40. Remember, the rolls are on top here. You could do it the other way with minutes on the top. All right? So it'd be 40 rolls in how many minutes? Okay. Well, we really don't know. Okay. But we can figure it out by just simply multiplying. Okay. 8 times what is 40? That's times by 5. So how many minutes would that be? That would be 50. Okay. See, you don't have to do it with the fractions. You could just see it in the table or vice versa. It's up to you. Okay. So remember, you have to, whatever you do to the rules, you have to do to the minutes. Okay. So it'll take Nora 50 minutes. So remember, this is Nora here. Okay. Now let's see about Eli. All right. Eli is doing 8 spring rolls in 10 minutes. Okay. So we got Eli. Nope. No, he's doing 10 spring rolls in 12 minutes. You got to read carefully here. Okay, so he's doing 10 rolls in 12 minutes. Rolls, minutes. Okay, and we're going to go to 40 minutes for Eli. Okay, so what would we multiply Eli by? 10 to 40? That is times it by 4. So Eli is going to complete 40 rolls in 12 times 4 or 48 minutes. So it must be Eli is going at the faster rate. Eli will finish first. Okay? It's going to take him 48 minutes, and Nora it will take 50 minutes for. Alrighty? So there you go. A lot of times it's helpful to find the unit rate first. If it ends up being a decimal, you could just scale the rates how they are. Okay? So like make the rate and figure out what would the new denominator be. Or the new numerator, depending on what's missing. Like this one, we did 10 to 12ths, and we're going to scale it to be something 40 over something, okay? And then we just multiply by 4 to figure that one out. Okay, that's about it, guys. I want you to try your best on the questions and shoot me an email with any particular ones that you didn't really understand, and I will try to address it in a video or in class on Monday, which I hope to see you all at. All right, take care. God bless. Bye-bye.